Okay, we are live and we're having a little bit of audio technical difficulties today. So that's all right. We're going to be a mix of audio and video for everybody today. And we're talking about how to win at marketing. And I'm joined today by Alan Fischer, who was our winner of our Marketing Madness Bracket Challenge. And he's going to share some of his experiences of why he participated and what it's done for his business. So, Alan, do you want to just start us off by telling people a little bit about who you are and what you do? And then we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks, Jennifer. I'm Alan Fischer. I own an investment company called Great Lakes Wealth Advisors in the Milwaukee area. Been doing advising for like 16 years now. Kind of jumped on board early in the process when we were allowed to do social media and some online stuff. So I've been using it for a while. Never to the extent even in the past like I did here with your marketing challenge. Some of it was the company that I worked for. They were very cautious when this first came out. They didn't want us to post anything. And as they've allowed us to do more, I've done more and more with it. And I see more and more positive results coming from it.
Well, I'm excited to hear a little bit more about that. I know in the financial services industry, compliance and corporate procedures and stuff can be challenging at times, but not undoable or unnavigatable, if I make up that word, to be able to find a way to move forward. So I'm glad you've been able to do it. So tell a little bit more about why you joined the Marketing Madness Bracket Challenge and kind of what you were hoping to get out of the experience.
Well, first I joined it because hopefully I would do better than I do in my regular March Madness bracket, which I did. So
that's probably not hard to do this year for most of us, at least.
It wasn't, because 3 of my 4 final 4 got busted out here over the weekend. So I'm done. I've cashed it in as far as that goes. But after seeing you do these in the past and the new company and looking into it, it got me to look into what our actual rules and regulations are. And they've changed a little bit over time, where we're able to do more than I thought we were able to do. So once I figured that out and felt comfortable with the compliance side of it, I decided this would be a really good way to kind of get the habit of doing the simple things in the marketing with the social media and the online to really get that habit going in a good foundation for doing great different to hear. Things.
I know for so many, sometimes it's trying to find that way to a yes, right? That like sometimes depending on how you ask the question, it's like, oh, no, we can't do that. But then like you said, kind of when you dove deeper into it, it's like, oh, but maybe we can do this, or here's how we can do it, how we can get to a yes in terms of some of the capabilities that you have. So you joined the challenge. Tell me a little bit more about your experience of like when you were thinking about some of the matchups, why you decided to do certain ones versus other ones. How did you approach it?
The first day was just the ones I wanted to do, the ones I knew I could do easily. Part of it was, I'm in a little bit of a hurry right now. What's the easiest one we can do? Okay, let's pick a couple of these. And for the first day, that was it. And then the next round, it was which one do I personally think is going to be the best one going forward? And then that's what I did in the last 2 rounds of it. And it was just able to do them. And that was really all was it. It wasn't that complicated. It was just, what did I want to do? And hopefully it was working out well, and it did.
Yeah. And it sound like you shift a little bit from the beginning, like just, okay, what can I feel like I can actually accomplish, to then being a little bit more like strategic somewhat about it, of like, what do I think is going to be worth my time to do that's going to help me the most as well. So as you approached it, like, talking about that, of like that initial piece of, what can I get done? Like, how much time did you feel like it took you to accomplish it? How did you build that into your daily or that week into your schedule with all of your meetings with clients and operations? I mean, we know there's lots going on in the business.
It really only took 10 or 15 minutes a day. And I worked it in with my normal morning routine. One of the things I've started to do really since I've seen you doing these and figured out I could do this was spend 10 minutes a day on LinkedIn in the morning to go through, comment on clients' posts, like posts, share information, spend a few minutes in our marketing platform to go and see, if there's something that I want to share that post, get it through the approval process and do it. So if I use 10, 15 minutes a day on that is really all it took me to do it.
That's great. It sounds like you found a way to make it very manageable and something where it's not adding like this whole big time frame to your day. But certainly, I'm sure people could tackle it. Of hey, I want to bundle some of this together. I've seen that work for some people, or making it bite size each day. So, from what you've done through the challenge, tell us a little bit about like what have you been able to keep going after the challenge, and what have you seen from taking these steps forward in your marketing efforts?
What I've been able to keep is I see more people getting to my website, getting to my
Mm,
profile pages like on LinkedIn and into the Facebook business Facebook page. So I'm seeing that it's really pointed out some shortcomings that I have in my website and in my profiles, where there's not much conversion from that into the phone ringing, which is all
mm,
what we all really want. So my April project is to clean that up, figure
mm.
out where they're falling off on the website. I'm working with somebody on that part of it. And then I think you and I talked the other day, we're going to work on cleaning up the web page and cleaning up the profile information on both LinkedIn and Facebook
Hmm.
pages, because I think they're a little stale. And I think this really kind of brought that out, that it needs improvement, it needs to be updated, needs to be modernized a little bit.
Hmm.
So
Well, it sounds like you found this combination of things that you're keeping going in terms of that, like 15 minutes a day, getting online, sharing content, trying to stay relevant and engaging with your audience, as well as, like you said, what did it shine light on of like, hey, what else? Where do I go from here? How do I build on the momentum that you started with the challenge? Is that correct?
yeah, we've got, it got posts out there, it got people noticing them, and then it's that next step of converting those
Mm.
into clients. And that's right now, it pointed out that's where my shortfall is in my marketing process. And so that's what needs attention. And that seems to make the most sense of the next steps.
Yeah.
Getting
And
stuff posted doesn't help you if it doesn't do anything.
right, right. And the hard thing is we don't know, right, when that's going to happen, when they are going to take the next step of is it going to be the first post that they see of ours that gets them to take action, or is it going to be, 250th post when they're all like, okay, I've been noticing, I've been liking what he's been putting out. Now I'm ready to engage. We don't know what it is, but so it's how do we stay consistent, right? Of how do we continue to put the content out, not knowing when the person's going to be really ready themselves to take that next step, because some of those people you might know who they are, but a lot of them probably too, we don't know who those people are that are looking at your website or seeing your social media posts, right? And curious maybe, but may or may not be ready to take the next step.
Correct. And so
So
you've got to find a way to capture that. And if you're capturing their attention, you got to keep that attention when you get it.
yeah. So if somebody missed out on playing the Marketing Madness Bracket Challenge, they're like, "Oh, I should have taken advantage of this, but now, how do I learn from the experiences like that you had with it?" What advice do you have with that for them in terms of taking a step forward in their marketing efforts?
Um, just to start doing it first off, like I did, like I said, I was very hesitant to get into too much of it for the compliance reasons. But once it got kicked off, it's, I've got my company's permission to do it, get it started and get in the habit of doing it. Whether it's a little bit every day, our company puts out a marketing calendar by the quarter. So I'll spend an hour or so this week setting up a bunch of posts for the next
Mhm.
quarter. And then in that 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, I'm liking posts, following clients, following people that I network with, people, industry leaders that I want to know what they're up to, and then filling in some blanks with more relevant current content that's
Mm.
going on. And that amount, I think, is what's really helped me move forward on the marketing. You had some great videos as part of the contest, which gave some really good tips that are, they're really easy to follow. This doesn't have to be a 3 hour a day job. You can do it in 10 or 15 minutes, get some good content out there, have a plan, have a strategy. I think is the best thing to what are you trying to accomplish, and make posts that are relevant to that.
Yeah.
And I've also mixed in some personal posts. I posted about the Badgers and the Warriors playing in the big dance, and they both lost. But
Right.
what are you going to do?
But we can relate to that. We can feel that pain with you of like, oh yeah, we were rooting for him too, and all of our brackets are busted in Wisconsin.
Right. We're all done. So.
We were rooting with our hearts versus, maybe what we should have. I don't know. They were ranked high.
Yeah, Wisconsin was ranked high. That was disappointing. So
yeah.
But I think that stuff and adding that personal touch to it with some things that you personally like to do outside of work helps connect with people.
Well, we always talk about that, right? They want to know you, they want to like you, they want to develop that trust for you. And a lot of the content, especially that comes sometimes from corporates, are a little bit more of that trust factor. We can help you with all these different products and solutions. We're credible in this space. We have this expertise, but it doesn't really get to that heart of who's Alan, right? What do you like to do? Can I relate to you? Would I enjoy spending time with you and feel comfortable sharing all those details about my life with you? So I think that's a great, easy first stop for a lot of people too, is just, what are you sharing otherwise, or who are you? And just starting to put some of that content out there. So it sounds like ways you've found to make that really digestible. Do you have like a little checklist that you use each day, or you just kind of like know off the top of your head, like these are the 5 things or something I'm going to do when I get online during that time?
I wish I was more organized and had things fancy like a checklist, but no, I just go in and look through the feeds and then go out and try and find a couple of interesting articles or find things, as I'm reading through the internet during the day. Hey, that's interesting. That's not necessarily straight business, but I'm gonna put it up there because I think it's interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like you have kind of just that antenna up a little bit more now too, of when you come across something like, oh, this might be something that other people have the same question about, or might find a value in everything, that what you could do with it, so that as you're going through your day to day, you're just being more in tune with those opportunities. Is that fair?
Yeah. Yep. I definitely think so.
Yeah.
If you find it interesting, your clients will probably, or at least some of them will probably find it interesting.
Yeah. And that goes right. Knowing who your clients are, and if they enjoy a lot of the same thing. And a lot of us, our ideal clients probably are somewhat similar to ourselves, of they like to do similar things or have certain interests or values that align with our own. So that probably makes sense to be sharing things, because if you enjoy it, then most likely that's going to be something that they might find value in as well. So I know we don't have very much time today, so we'll kind of wrap things up here. But before we do, want to get your thoughts now that your bracket's busted. Like, are you rooting for somebody? Like, are you still watching? Where are you at with the big dance?
I've got out of it a little bit. I was gone all day Saturday and Sunday, so I don't even know who's left. I looked at my bracket. I seen it was blown up. So at this point, I think Kansas is my last team.
Don't say that.
So I'm just going to go for them.
I went to Mizzou. I'm like, anybody but Kansas. No, we still have to we can't cheer for them, but they always do well, it seems like. But yeah, I know I did a few different brackets, and this is the first year I actually didn't have much time to think about it. I hadn't seen a lot of the teams. So I think I have one that still might have a few of the Final Four in there, because Gonzaga's, I think, still in it. But now I think I'm just really rooting for those underdogs. It's like underdog, or who could have that buzzer beater, exciting finish that are just fun to watch.
I think that's the key for me now, is just good games, right? Yeah. I don't really care who wins anymore. I just want to see good basketball games, good close games, good buzzer beaters are always fun to watch. And that'll just be entertaining for me at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, you think about it like from a marketing perspective too. I mean, all these teams, like, they do so much work all season long to get to this position that they can be, have a chance to win the big dance and everything, and be successful, and all the fundamentals that they work on to get them to that stage. But then, in the tournament, it all comes down to that day, and how do you show up in that particular moment, and what they do, and what that leads to in terms of results. So I think there's a lot of things that we can learn, certainly from sports, but from other things as well, in terms of all the fundamentals. But then just ultimately, you got to show up, you got to take the action, like you talked about. And that's what makes the difference of taking steps to move forward in our businesses. So I appreciate you sharing your experiences today and being a part of the journey. I know you said you've been, the popcorn's almost gone, and your basket of champions. So hopefully you're enjoying some of those goodies while you're watching those remaining games. And why don't you tell people, if they want to connect with you, learn more about the work that you do and how you help clients, or your experience and how you've made this work for you, how can they reach you? What's the best way to connect with you?
They can reach me through LinkedIn. You can Google me there, or you can reach me at 262-222-5114. My web address is greatlakeswealthadvisors.com, and there's a meeting link right there where you can see my calendar and get on the calendar if you want.
Well, fantastic. Well, thanks so much for joining us again. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we get lots of fun games to look forward to this weekend.
Sounds good, Jen. Thank you.
Okay, have a good one.
All
Bye.
right, bye.